Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this little behind the scenes making of type video. Don't know what I'm doing here because I've never done this before, but I've had a few people ask me, how did you do that in this video? How did you come up with the idea for this shit? And I thought, you know what, maybe I should do a making of and behind the scenes video for a Sega Head episode for a change. The only reason I've not done it in the past is I don't like this sort of thing. You know when you get a film on Blu-ray and one of the special features is behind the scenes, the making of this, how this was done. I don't want to know that because it ruins the magic of the film. You know, like I don't want to see a film and then when a scene, say someone jumps off a building, I go thinking, oh yeah, he had this strapped to him and there was this at the bottom, that part's CGI or some bollocks like that. I don't want that to be running through my head. I just want to think, oh look, he jumped off the building. Because that's all you're supposed to think during the film, isn't it? So, if like me, you don't want the magic of the Mortal Kombat video ruined and stuff, I won't blame you for not watching this. I really won't. But in case you want to know how something's done, here's how. So first of all, when it comes to making a Sega Head episode, the first thing I have to do is record the game footage. So, normally, that's a piece of piss. Well, it wasn't this time. I had technical problems at the start. I recorded Mortal Kombat 1... No, sorry, I recorded Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, just because it didn't really matter what order I played them in, because I can do whatever with the footage. And then I found out something wrong with the sound. It had recorded snippets of me and the family as well. I actually noticed that, not straight away having done Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, it was after doing a little bit of 1. So here's a snippet of what happens with that shit. Yeah, when he was on 3 or 4. On a funny note though, when I lost a fight during the game, in real life playing it and lost, you get to see how I actually reacted, or rather hear how it sounds and stuff. What the shit? Yeah, the cursing is real. That's not edited, that was me actually shouting at the telly. So when I figured that all out, there was no way to fix it. The recording at its heart was knackered. I could have probably done something somewhere with some sort of software, but it wasn't worth the time. I thought, bollocks, I will play it and record it again. Then we came up with another problem. I decided this time I'll just do Mortal Kombat 1 first. When I got Mortal Kombat 1 on the Master System a few years ago, I completed it the first time, in the first sitting. Could I complete it this time? Not for a while, anyway. 5 fucking attempts it took to complete it. I kept getting the Goro and kept dying. On the plus side, this gave me plenty of ammunition up here, thinking I can make this work. I can make a joke out of being crap and dying at Goro the whole time. Which is why there's a lot of that in the video. But you know, silly things like that made it funny. They added the comedy to the video. I would never have thought, alright, get to here and then make out that you can't do it. I wouldn't have thought of that. No, I actually got to there and couldn't fucking do it. For a long time, I eventually beat the boss and was like, and I had to incorporate that as well. Now, when game footage is done, the next part is the more tedious part for me. Writing the bloody script. I'm not that wordy, so it's difficult for someone with the brain of an egg cup. An empty egg cup at that. As you can see here, this is the script. I won't bother showing you all of it, but here's a chunk of it. The only reason why it's all squished to one side is because I find it sort of clearer and easier to see when I'm having to read it out loud into the microphone later on. Or read it out loud in front of the camera, depending on which bit it is. And you can see here all the bits in capitals. They were meant to be the other voice, Raiden's voice, in the footage. The funny thing is, originally I wasn't going to do the voice of Raiden. I was going to do the voice of a sensei. So I wasn't going to go, oh, it's the God of Thunder. It's like, no, it is Sensei, here to teach you. And I was going to do a voice like this. I have come to train you in the ways of Mortal Kombat. That was my original idea, do something like that. And then my wife pointed out, that might come across as racist. I thought, you're right, I don't want that. Not worth it. So we did away with that and I thought, for 3 days, what the hell can I do? Everything I had in my mind planned for the video was about the Sega Head character conversing with someone else who wasn't actually there. Sounds weird saying it like that, But it eventually hit me, I can do Raiden! So I played a bit of Mortal Kombat X and realised, I can't do Raiden! I can't do Raiden's voice! Can't do it. Then I thought, I can do Raiden's voice from Mortal Kombat 4.
And it just sounded like this.
And shit, you know, I'm not really putting a lot of effort into it right now. And then add some effects, which is what I did. That's how I came up with that shit anyway. It was surprisingly difficult for those parts in the video, because I wasn't listening to that voice of Raiden as a pre-recording. When I said my bit, I had to wait and imagine how long it would take for that bit to be said, and then react at the appropriate time. So sometimes it was like this. You mean Thor? Oh mate, you were great in the Avengers, the way you had your hammer and just smashed the shit out of people with it. Oh. Normally, when it comes to recording the bits with me in the footage, I do 2, maybe 3 takes, depending on how happy I am with it. But with this Mortal Kombat one, because I had to guess when to respond, and I didn't know how long to wait, I did it like 5 to 6 fucking times, always with a longer wait, and then maybe the next time an even longer or shorter wait, just to make it different. So that was a real pain in the arse. I think now I'll just get straight to the bit that many people have asked about. How did you do the throw in the cart gag? Well, I don't know how this one entered my head. Don't ask how I thought it up, because I don't know. But I knew what I wanted it to look like. I wanted it to look like I was going, ha, 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 game spinning through the air, boom, land in the console. That was what I wanted in my head. Thought, great, want that. How do I make that happen then? So first of all, I thought, okay, bit 1, throw the cartridge. You would think this would be easy, I only have to throw it. Well, I fucked this up a lot. When it came to throwing the cartridge from Mortal Kombat 1, there was one point where it bounced a lot further across the room than it was supposed to. I had the camera facing towards me so you wouldn't have seen where it went, but it was like, oh fuck, I've got to go get that now. Whatever you say, mate. Let's do this. Whatever you say, mate. Let's do this. Fuck! And then there was another bit later, I think it was with the Mortal Kombat 2 cartridge? No, it was Mortal Kombat 3 cartridge, sorry. I threw it up in the air, which would have gone to the next bit, but I did actually throw it, which was stupid. I could have just... let's see. Right, for example, here's a Master System game, Global Defense, doesn't matter. I could have just, in the video, gone, huh! And then cut it the instant the cartridge was off screen, like that. Rather than actually throw it, like that. Well, I decided, I'm not going to do it again because I got lucky that time with catching it. I decided to actually throw it to make sure it looked authentic. And it went at a bit of an angle. And landed badly. Fine. I knocked over a bunch of stuff. Oh dear, and the game bounced all the way over here. It's fine. My copy of Mortal Kombat 3 was always in terrible condition. Shit balls. Fine. Drop the fucking game, cunt. So that wasn't very fucking clever. Another bit was where you see the cartridge, Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3 cartridges, fly in the air and then go straight back down. Now this was a bit more of a pain in the arse because I had to throw the cartridge like that. Obviously I had to do it higher because I wasn't in the shot. But I wanted the cartridge to sort of go central of the screen, and when you throw it sometimes it would go here a bit, or you'd see it go up and that way. So I was throwing, see what I mean, just like that. I was throwing the bloody cartridge up and down again and again several times. But I was close to the ceiling, so I hit the ceiling. Fuck. Several times that happened. So that was a dumb fuck up with that. But I know the thing you're all wanting now. Well, several of you are wanting anyway. How the hell did you make the cartridge spin? Well, I taped the fucker to a drill. I took the end off the drill, duct taped it, but I duct taped it very carefully. So there was duct tape on the back of the game cartridge to the drill, but you couldn't see any from the sides, here, any sides, or of course the front. So that when it was spinning like that, and the problem was, I now have a drill in one hand, and I want to move towards the console, holding the drill, not fully, or this fucker might spin to the moon. But I wanted to have footage going like that, so I got one camera here, looking at the game at the end of the drill, and the other hand holding the drill very gently and specifically, and we're going like that towards the console, back and forth, really stupidly. I know I look like a fucking idiot now, I can see myself, I look stupid, but that was what I was doing. Somehow I came up with the idea of, I want to make the damn thing spin, I don't know how to make it spin, so I'll get a drill. Guess that's how my mind works. The only other bit with making the cartridge land in the console was easy, the bit where it actually goes in. It didn't go in. I would just, well, suppose, I carefully put the game in, and then I would have a bit of thread and pull the cartridge out quite fast. And then I would reverse the footage so it looked like the game was going in and landing in perfectly. And it worked really well. The problem was, originally I was going to use some fishing wire to attach to back a game. A tiny bit of tape, fishing wire, so I go, huh, like that. But you could see the fishing wire, and while this is a low budget YouTube channel, so I didn't care that you could see it, but I didn't want it to be fucking staring you in the face. I didn't want it to be painfully obvious. So this fishing wire looked terrible, it looked too thick. I thought, damn, I even got the thin, transparent shit, and it still stood out. So I had to do away with that, which means I had to come up with something else. And I found one of my kids' yo-yos, because we don't have any fucking string in the house, but we got yo-yos. String again stood out. I thought, I'm buggered for what to use. My wife's hairbrush nicked one bit of hair, one bloody hair. Went down, taped it to the back of the game. Thought, I am a genius. This is going to work so well. Cunt. Went upstairs and got another hair. I'm going to attach more hairs now. Got two hairs, twiddled them together. Tape. You fucking... Aha! Forgot to click record. Cunt. Do it again. There you are. That was how that happened. What a load of bollocks just trying to make a fucking gag where the damn thing spins and lands into a console. Later on in the video, in terms of live action, there's the bit where Raiden says, "Silence, you need training. Stand up and test your might." So it's just a gag with speed, images, and bullshit, really. It's funny, I think. I think it serves its purpose quite well. But there was an incident. There was one bit of footage, I'm not sure if it's the right one I'm thinking of in my mind as I'm saying this, you'll see. There were two bits, one of them got cut. There's one where I'm spinning my head like that as fast as I can, and I did that for like 30 seconds. A bit faster than that, but for 30 seconds, because I knew that when I sped it up, obviously it's not going to be 30 seconds, it's going to be more like 10. Or even less, so you do it for a little while to make it good. You plan ahead for how fast you're going to zoom it up. And there was another bit where I had, I don't have one here for an example, had a controller on the lead, Master System one, and I was spinning it round, keeping my eye on the controller the whole time, like that. Again, 30 seconds, doing it for quite a while. There's a problem there. I got dizzy. So there was one point when I finished and then stopped. And then I went back a bit and then forward and went down to the ground. I'm proper dizzy now. Goodbye. Oh dear, I can't stand up yet. Oh dear. Yeah, that weren't very clever. Then there was another bit, I can't remember what I was doing, but I fucked up and took a step back and stood on my Sega Saturn controller, which had accidentally slid out a bit, and it made an almighty thunk. I tripped. Again, not a very clever moment for me. The only other thing I can think of about the live footage that's worth mentioning is the very end. You see me holding the mystery game, as it were. So here's The Evil Within, PS4 just for example. I'm holding the game like this, smiling. There was a fuck up. It was meant to have footage afterwards showing what the game was. You were supposed to know what the mystery game was. There was a problem. Normally when I record everything and I'm still on set, as it were, all geared up with lights and camera and shit, I stop at the end of it and I go through all the footage I've just done to check it over. Say if one thing, say, you know, you make simple fuck ups when it's just you doing something, it's very easy to think, I did click record, didn't I? No, I didn't. Shit like that. That's happened, by the way. Twat. But in this case, it was a little different. I had recorded the footage of the game from an angle over shoulder so you could see me holding it like something like that, you know. But fuck you, go up there, you bastard. The footage had recorded, but I didn't realise, having standing and looking that way, that there was one hell of a horrible glare for a lot of it. I moved the game ever so slightly and the bloody light bounced right off into the camera. My fault. I forgot to move the lights into a better position when recording it, and I checked every bit of footage, but I didn't check that one because it was literally a 5-second clip. I thought it'd be fine. Wasn't, was it? Because every time I went to look back at the camera, I moved a little bit and then it moved out of the glare. When I'm back here, it was glare. So you were supposed to know what the next Sega Head episode's going to be about. You were supposed to. But because I could not be fucked to set everything up to do that damn thing, I thought, bollocks, it's a mystery now. There's the reasons. I want to quickly show you what the footage looks like in the little recording software studio bollocks. Here's a snapshot of one half of it. Here's a snapshot of the lower half. I haven't bothered setting up the recording equipment just to show you me scrolling up and down so you can see it all, but here's that, here's this. That's the whole video in all the pieces. Every individual line is a cut. All the stupid little bits down the bottom are like an effect, if that makes any sense. So here's a good example. You can see here with this bit, snapshot 333, that is the background you see up here. The word code has many different definitions, blah blah blah. The background, yeah. Then you have the Sega Master System little image, the wider one there. That's the controller picture up here, of course. And then underneath, these snippets are the Mortal Kombat logo that appears over the buttons. So that's the silly little bit was saying how to do the blood code. That's what that is. That's just an example. The amount of little shit you have to go through for one simple idea. That's what that is. In terms of my favourite bit of this video, it's quite tough to say because this video did something strange to me, which is weird. I had an anxiety attack. It's quite a bad one. Now, as an individual, I've experienced depression many times. I know what depression feels like. Anxiety attacks? No, that's a whole different kettle of fish there. It's not worse or less worse than depression. It's a different thing, an entirely different entity. So I didn't know what was going on. One morning I was working on the video and there was one bit that I couldn't get to work. I've got it working now, but at the time it baffled me, and there's often problems like that in the bigger videos. I think I can't get it to work how I want it to work. So I have to come at it from a different approach, and then you start thinking, what is that different approach? Well, it doesn't come at you so easy, and then I had to go to work. I ran out of time working on the video. I had to get ready and actually go to my job. And when I was at my job, hitting my elbow on the table, that hurt, cunt. Then I started feeling quite bad. I was on the drive to work, and then actually at work, I couldn't concentrate on what I was doing, which was bad. I was just a mess. I didn't know what was going on. It took me till about, let's see, later on in the day, like 3 o'clock. So from around 7 to 3 o'clock, I had horrible anxiety. At the start of the day, it was a proper full-blown anxiety attack. I don't know how I got to work, but I must have gone through every red light. That's not good. So I was thinking about the video far too much, and when I finally got home and finished the problem that was bugging me, I decided I need to step away from this video. I wanted to work on a Mortal Kombat video for at least another week. But I knew I shouldn't, because there's clearly something wrong going on up here. It's tough for me to comment then, therefore, on what my favourite bits of the video are, because when I thought I had a handle on the anxiety, when all the video was ready, I gave it a few days, I wanted to release it on a weekend, you see, and then press publish, and then it's out there. I started getting tremendous anxiety again just from clicking on publish. I got really worried as to what everyone's thoughts on the video would be, I guess. Because I'm very critical of my own stuff, especially the Sega Head episodes, and this one is one huge rule I've always had for the Sega Head episodes. Every episode has to be very different from the last one. Doesn't matter if it's got some similarities with a previous one, as long as it's a good video, funny, maybe even educational sometimes towards the game, edutainment, but it can't be like the last one. So this couldn't be anything like the Shmups one, which was fine because the Shmups one had tons of games, was quite informative, and not loads of live footage of me. This one had loads of live footage of me and loads of live footage gags, of course, and was a lot less educational because it was a lot more stupid. Therefore, the next one will either be very educational or very stupid. But I will know that the next one will have a lot less live footage in it. But anyway, I'm rambling again now. So yeah, I can't point out what my favourite bits in the video are. But if I had to, I would say the spinny bit with the drill. And it's funny how this one sticks with me. The credits at the end, I listed some of the characters and put stupid... how do I put it? Stupid little identifications next to their names. I don't know why, but I found that quite funny. I enjoyed the joke. And when I came up with the idea of, what was it, Shang Tsung as Cast of Glee, or Cast of Glee as Shang Tsung, rather. I don't know why, but that made me laugh. Sad that my own joke made me laugh. But anyway, that was my first attempt at doing a making of video. Let me know if you want me to do one like this for future Sega Head episodes. I don't know if you will or not. But I hope you got some enjoyment out of this, and I hope that's answered your questions and how certain bits were done. Probably left something out. This isn't rehearsed. I haven't scripted down anything that I should say or talk about. I'm just winging it. So fuck it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Please click like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. All that shit. Thank you very much, and I will see you again next time.